Yep, let's go ahead and go over legal fiction. If you're new here, my name's Sandra. I love old books. This that we're in right now is my set of encyclopedias from the 1890s. It's the Chambers Encyclopedias. I know it's hard to see. Someone had asked me to look up legal, and it said that the two options were legal fiction and legal tender, but it told me for legal fiction, see fiction. For legal tender, see tender. Anyway, so we're going to go over legal fiction. Legal fiction, a supposition of law that a thing is true, which is either certainly not true, or at least is as probably false as true. Fictions have existed in all legal systems. They have served many useful purposes by enabling individuals who, by the strict letter of the law, would have been excluded from obtaining redress of evils to procure that remedy by a pious fraud. There are two general maxims which regulate the application of fictions, viz. Okay, so the viz essentially is meaning like as follows or namely, that no fiction shall be allowed to operate a wrong and that no fiction shall be admitted which in the nature of things is impossible. The Roman form of judicial procedure abounded with fictions by which alone in many cases a party aggrieved could enforce his right. Thus an heir unjustly disinherited by the querela inofficiasi testamenti, fiend that his father had been mad. A stranger in Rome who had been robbed could not in early times obtain restitution without the fictio civitatis, whereby he feigned himself a citizen. Many of the fictions existing in Rome have found a counterpart in modern systems. Thus, the fictio longomanus, whereby lands at the distance were feigned to be delivered, resembles an English foefment at law. In like manner, the fictio traditionis symbolis of keys of a warehouse to give possession of the articles contained therein, and of a deed in confirmation of the covenants contained therein. The fiction of the unity of the persons was the original of the Scottish fiction that the heir is the same as the deceased. But in no system of law have fictions been so liberally adopted as in that of England. It was by means of fiction alone that the original limited jurisdiction of the courts of Queen's Bench and Exchequer was extended to ordinary suits. In the latter court, every plaintiff assumed that he was a debtor to the crown and was debarred from discharging his obligation by the failure of the defendant to satisfy his demand. In the former, it was assumed that the defendant had been arrested for some supposed trespass, which he had never in fact committed. The fictitious characters of John Doe and Richard Doe long contributed to make the action of ejectment famous. So the QV means essentially finding another article related to it, it's telling you. And though these fictions have disappeared before the ruthless hand of modern legislation, yet to this day in England, in an action at the instance of a father for the seduction of his daughter, damages can only be awarded on the assumption that she was his servant and that he has suffered pecuniary loss by deprivation of her service. In the law of Scotland, fictions of law are not of frequent occurrence. For the benefit of creditors, the principle that the heir is the same person as the descendant is admitted, and in an action of reduction in probation of a deed, it is assumed that the document was false, whether the fact be so or not. The legitimization of natural children by the subsequent marriage of their parents is an instance of what is called a retractive fiction. See Maine's Ancient Law and Calhoun's Summary of the Civil Law. For works on fiction, see novels. Okay, well, that's a little crazy.